YouTube. So I just took the brake assembly off, or just the bolts. So right now this is basically just a four-wheel drive transmission. It's basically all it is. Use a tone. So yeah, now I got that off. I'm gonna swap this housing out and go from there. The only thing I'm wondering is, do I need a tone ring in here? Let me look that up before I get started too much. I wonder if I need something for that RPM, for that speed sensor to go off of. Let me check into that. Be right back. Alright, YouTube. So, got some bad news on the four drive conversion part of this build. So this is a real brake drum, a parking brake assembly that was on this transmission out of the f450 van. So what we did basically is, my thought was to swap this housing out, because this housing had the sensor in it, the speed sensor. There's a speed sensor, sorry, in this housing right here. That's your output speed sensor. So I was gonna just swap this out, put it on here, and then I can put a transfer case on the back. All good. But what we basically have came to figure out, that after looking, I don't know if y'all can see me. We got a flashlight real quick. Alright, so I need 4 hands for this. So as you can see, there's no, this is just a shaft. There's supposed to be, for the forward drive, for that sensor, there's supposed to be right here a gear that picks up, that the sensor can pick up to figure out the real speed sensor. So I called around a few places, did a little looking to see if I could just add that. You cannot. I think it's pressed onto the shaft, and there's no way to press it on. So what you gotta do is replace the shaft. The shaft's not that expensive. That's not the problem. Problem is, this is, I think, what they call a front loader transmission. So you gotta disassemble the whole transmission in order to do it. So that being said, I would think if you're gonna rebuild if you're gonna tear the transmission apart, you probably should rebuild it just while you're in there, kind of deal. Don't really want to go spend the money on rebuilding this right now, because it's a good transmission. It works just fine. So my plan is to go ahead and put this adapter housing back on it, the parking brake, just so then I can hook a drive shaft up to it. I probably won't use this parking brake assembly, just because I have no need to. I'm going to put this on here, and then we're just going to run two-wheel drive for now. My plan, since I already got new housing there, is I'm going to start getting the part set up. I still got to rebuild this transfer case. Nothing wrong with it, but I got to swap the input shaft. So if I'm going to tear it apart, I'm just going to spend the money, put new chain, new seals, new bearings, just go through it. Get that. I'm going to take that transmission and see if I can get it rebuilt. And when they rebuild it, I got a new tail shaft, and I'll swap that out and put a what do you call it on there? And I'll get the right shaft put in it, and then put my other thing in it. That way, I can just literally take this out, put it in there, and we're done. So that's kind of what we're working on with that. Hopefully that'll work out fine. So that's kind of what we're doing. So for now, we're just going to stick with two-wheel drive, even though this is a four-wheel drive transmission, shaft, and extension housing. But we're just going to work with what we got. So I got a new gasket I'm going to put on here, put that assembly back on. I got to swap this hose around. It's a new one, just this one's different, that's all. Put that on, and then we should be pretty close to being able to make the transmission and the motor transmission back up. Once we make them up, then we can, and then we'll probably get cleaned up in here. Now pretty much at the point, I gotta swap a couple things in the front. I can set the motor in, pull the frame back, set it in, and then I'm gonna, once it's in the frame, I can get it in the frame, and, sorry, my brain's not working. I get in the frame, and I still gotta do rebuild the turbo, but I'm not gonna put the cab on. That should be in like Monday or Tuesday. The kit to that. So I'm gonna do that. Put the turbo on, and I'm waiting on this right here. I snapped it off, and then we can go ahead and put that stuff on it. Then lower the cap on, and we'll be in business. So that's kind of where we're at. I know it's kind of rambling, but I called Transource, which is I think that's a national company, to see if I could get just the gear, and if I could get it on there, that'd be great. But I can't. There's no listing for it. So I'll probably just throw this back together. Unless anybody knows of any transmission shops in the Raleigh area, Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina area that would want to give me a deal on doing that, then I might do it. But at the moment, probably just gonna run two-wheel drive because I still gotta buy an axle. I gotta buy a front axle, rebuild the transfer case, and then the only other thing I'll have to do is cut my drive line down once I swap over to this style, to the four-wheel drive. But either way, I'm gonna have to do that. The only thing I'm gonna have to do it twice this time for the I gotta measure to see if my space is the same, my overall space on the tail shaft's the same or not. But this is just me blabbing at this point. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put the gasket on, bolt that back up, get all this ready. I'll go ahead and swap this line out. Actually, now I'll probably just put it together and then I'll do that. And then we'll get ready to get this cleaned up, get the transmission mounted off, the motor off that, put it on here, and we'll be good to go. So anyway, that's a long-winded thing, but yeah. So just be careful if you do find one of these out of a 450 van. Just make sure you have that sensor if you have a sensor on there on your one. So it's a little food for thought. Yeah, but yeah. But anyway, I hope that helps somebody out, and we're gonna get started on putting this back together. Howdy YouTube. So we got all this put back together. Yeah, drive that's gonna be short. Sorry. Got this all put back together. All we gotta do now is, this is made, I sort of put the top motor box in, but I gotta get out of here for the day. Like I said, I actually gotta pull this one off. I got a new pedestal coming. This one's starting to leak, so I just put a new one on and be done. Got one of them coming. Got the rebuild kit for the turbo, which is turbo's over there. Work on that tomorrow. I think it's supposed to come in Monday or Tuesday. So whenever that comes in, I'll work on that. What else? Yeah, but I think I'm thinking I'm gonna have some time tomorrow. I'm gonna take this and I gotta get all this stuff cleaned up. Is what I gotta do. Get all the tools off. What else I gotta do? Get everything just cleaned up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get the engine and transmission set in place. Because I can go ahead and set it in. That's not really a big deal. What's that? That's transmission harness. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't think I took that off yet. Okay, so this is the transmission harness. We just left that on. Oh, I could have just pulled it off, but yeah, that's fine. Sorry, I'm not thinking a whole lot. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and put the modem trans in it. Go ahead and hook up a few lines. Everything I cannot done underneath here. Waiting on that turbo is probably gonna be our biggest thing we're gonna be waiting on. And once the turbo's on, once I get the turbo rebuilt, then we can go ahead and put the cab back on. It sucks that I got a couple of days off here, but I can't, until I get that turbo kit, I can't do too much. So that's kind of sucks, but it's what it is. Should have planned that out a little bit better. But this is all back together, ready to go back in. Put it in. I gotta put the solder on and put a couple lines and put some transmission lines. I gotta pull this. I gotta pull this off because this we don't need this. That's actually I didn't think I swapped the harness, but there's no harness on that, so that harness coming off has old harness. Probably should swap the vehicle speed sensor, the selector. And I gotta get a new O-ring for the dipstick, and then we'll be good. So hopefully, depending on what kind of work I get, what kind of time I get next week, I might be able to get this knocked out next week, or get the cab put back on, and hopefully get it fired up. One thing I do want to do is I do need to, I think I said this in the last video, pull the sending unit out and just look at the screen on the bottom, because these tanks are kind of known for having an issue with there's inside coating on them delaminating basically, and then causing issues with plugging up the fuel screen. So if it means I gotta get a new tank, I get a new tank, but I'd rather figure that out now than after I put the bed on. So anyway, that's what we got. But yeah, I want to thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more, and I'll talk to y'all later.